Hey there, viewers. Welcome back to Starring at Solitary. Blind Rob here, subbing in as always. And this week is 256, if I remember correctly. And this week we are covering the topic of the afterlife, what we believe happens to our souls after we shrug off this mortal coil and pass on into the other world. Well, my beliefs regarding the afterlife, regarding the other world, is very complicated and complex. So I believe, being someone who believes that most of, if not all, the gods of all cultures and all the spiritual beings of all cultures possibly exist if I don't believe that they do exist automatically. I mean, I have had experiences where I've interacted with various different beings, entities, deities, spirits, what have you, from different cultures, different traditions. But it doesn't mean that I've met or have interacted with every single one from all of them. It's just not possible. But I believe that the other world, the afterlife, the spirit realm, whatever you want to call it, is a vast place, far grander than this physical world, this simple physical world that we all know and are aware of. And I believe that there are different places that one can go, that one can be, that one can choose to, either by their own choice or through the choices of others, end up deciding to be, to stay, to reside. I do believe in places or planes of afterlife such as Valhalla, Folkfriend. I can never get the name of Freya's hall correct. Ternanog, Moimel. So, I believe that the different places such as the Blessed Isles, the halls of the Aesir, the halls of the Vanir, are places that you can go, depending what happens. I personally believe that the moment that we die, the moment our souls pass on from this mortal life and head into the other world, we meet up first and foremost with our ancestors, most of the time. And from there, we figure out where we need to be, where we need to go. Now, where we end up, in my opinion, by my beliefs, depends on a lot of factors. Your choices in life, your choices as soon as you pass on from life, the choices of those who came before you, your ancestors, your immediate ancestors, more so than the ancestors further back, but their actions, their choices also matter. The deities that you have relationships with, the deities that you have bonds with or pacts with or what have you, the spirits that you have pacts with, bonds with, so on and so forth. What type of person you were in that life. Because I do believe, just as there are places to be rewarded in the afterlife, there's also places where you can be punished. No, I don't believe in the Christian concept of hell, of an eternal place of damnation. But I do believe in places such as Nastron. Nastron? I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Might be wrong. The kind of a small region of the Norse afterlife where people who were particularly evil in life, such as oathbreakers, adulterers, murderers, so on and so forth. I would even go so far as to to throw in rapists and so on and so forth in that category, who either refused or didn't even bother to try to make amends and atone in their own ways for the crimes that they've committed. End up staying there for a certain amount of time. How long? Well, that depends on you ask. Personally, I don't think it's internally. I just think it's till Ragnarok comes. Until this, when this universe ends and a new one begins. But just because I believe in places of the afterlife, places that one can go to, one can stay. That's the end of their the journey of their soul, so to speak. I don't believe that that's the only place they can end up. I also believe that other things can happen to one's soul. Different beings can come and collect your soul. The Ishi, the fairy folk, for example. I believe that they can come and claim you and have you end up joining their ranks, make you into one of theirs in one way or another, or other such beings who do similar things. I also believe that just as it is possible to remain with your ancestors for as long as, well, you're able to, I also believe that one can become a guardian spirit of one's family so that you can watch over your descendants and those who come after you. I also believe in reincarnation, but as with everything regarding my beliefs of the afterlife, my beliefs about reincarnation are kind of complicated. Because I believe in more of a soul matrix than a one-part soul, meaning that there are different pieces, different parts of the soul. I believe that the most core piece, the most essential piece that makes up you remains with you permanently, forever, wherever it may go. That there are some pieces that you do not get to keep with you when you pass this life. I believe that either you as a whole can be reincarnated into another person, into a new life, but I also believe that some pieces of your soul can end up being inherited, gifted, received by new lives coming into being. Such as a piece of your memories, of your emotions, some bits and pieces of your talents. This is how I personally explain why sometimes multiple people claim that they have had past lives of the same person, or they have experienced past lives of the same person as other people. Or the reason why certain traits, certain things, pop up in certain family lines. I believe it's more likely for a person to end up being reincarnated in one of the branches of their family tree than they are to end up reincarnating as a stranger. But it is possible. I do believe it is possible to simply end up being reborn, reincarnated as someone completely unconnected to anyone that you've been related to in your entire, in either that life or any life that you've had before then. For me, the afterlife, when we release our hold upon this life for the last time and head on into the other world, it's a wild, crazy, complicated ride. Wherever we end up, well, who knows? While I do believe that we have some control, little as it may be, where we go, I think that deities, spirits, ancestors, so many things have much more weight, value on what it is that we can do and where we can go after we're done here, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So yeah, those are just some of my personal views, my personal beliefs on the afterlife. I hope you enjoyed this video. Till I'm able to talk to you all like this again and covering in for another video next time on another week. May breach bless. Take care.